into His presence with thanksgiving in your heart and give Him praise. And give Him praise. Come into His presence with thanksgiving in your heart. Your voice is raised. Your voice is raised. Give glory and honor and power unto Him. Jesus, the name above all names. Jesus, the name above all names. Please be seated.
Today, I'd like to share with you a Cherokee legend. Do you know the legend of the Cherokee Indian youths, their rite or their ritual of passage into adulthood? His father takes him into the deep forest where he is required to sit on a tree stump or a fallen tree trunk, blindfolded the whole night. He must not remove the blindfold until the rays of the morning sun shines through his blindfold. He must not cry out for help to anyone. His father supposedly leaves him all alone on that tree stump or fallen tree trunk, blindfolded in the deep forest for the entire night. The young lad, naturally, is terrified. Imagination can become apparent reality. He can hear all kinds of noises. Wild beasts must surely be all around him. Maybe even some human might do him harm. Some other Indian from an enemy tribe may discover him sitting there. The wind may blow the trees, grass, dust of the earth. Thunder and lightning may be in the sky and shakes his stump or fallen tree. Rain may fall on him and to the earth, but he must sit stoically, never removing the blindfold. It will be the only way he can become a man. Finally, after what may have been a horrific sleepless night of noises and many unknowns, the sun rays appear through his blindfold, and he's allowed to remove his blindfold. It is then that he discovers his father sitting on the stump or fallen tree next to him. His father has been watching over him the entire night, protecting him from any harm. After he survives the night, he is declared a man who is worthy to take his place among those who have already passed the rite of passage and begin earning merits to become his grave in the tribe. He must not tell the other Indian boys of this experience, because each lad must come into manhood on his own. We too are never totally alone. Even when we don't see it, hear it, feel it, or know it, God is watching over us, sitting on the stump or fallen tree trunk beside us. When trouble comes, all we have to do is reach out to Him in earnest prayer, because we walk by faith and not by sight. Moral to the story: just because you can't see God doesn't mean He's not there.
He is the light, my strength, my song.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today, thanking you for each and everything you provided for us. We give you the greatest thanks of all for sacrificing your Son to die that hill of death on his cross for our sins. Therefore, giving us a possibility to reach heaven if we follow Jesus. With eternity. Partake in the emblems of represent your Son's body. Let us take it in the most gracious way that there is there in your head. Think about our suffering on the cross. Yes,
Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, you've been so gracious to us. You do provide for us. And Lord, we acknowledge that everything that we have is yours. And as we bring back and worship what you've given us, we ask that you bless it to benefit the church, Christ Church here, that we can reach out and communicate your love, the love that was shown in Jesus. And then through mission programs, reach out. Father, we pray that you forgive us for allowing the church to get into the bed. For truly, it is our problem with faith. We pray, Lord, that you give us the faith to realize that if we give 10%, you can make the 90% go much further. Lord, we do love you so much. And help us, Lord, love one another as Jesus is Emmanuel. It's in his name we pray.
We're going to look today at the book of John. Book of John, chapter 15. John 15, we'll start with verse 12. John chapter 15, verse 12. This is my commandment, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that one lay down his life for a friend. You are my friends if you would do what I command you. No longer do I call you slaves, for the slave does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you, that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatever you ask of the Father in my name, he may give you. This I command you, that you love one another. Today what we want to talk about is friends. Friends. How many of you have friends? How many of you have friends? A lot more friends here than here. How many of you have acquaintances? All right, what is a friend?
Someone you can count on.
An acquaintance that went beyond, right? Someone you count on? Someone you talk to? Jesus says, I call you friend, and so I lay down my life for you. So think on that. How many of you would lay down your life for that person you call a friend? How many of you would lay down your life for an acquaintance? How many of you would lay down your life for your wife or your husband? Liars. No, truthfully, we think that we would, right? We think we would. When it came right down to it, would we or could we? I mean, I like to think that if someone was with one of my kids or something, I would take their place. I mean, I've actually seen people who were in a predicament who prayed, Father, let me go. Not them, but let me go. And would we or could we do that? Here's some definitions of a friend. So kind of interesting. A British publication once offered a prize for the best definition of a friend. Among the thousands of answers received, here is the winner. A friend, one who multiplies your joys, divides your grief, whose honesty is inviolable. One who understands our silence, a volume of sympathy that bounds like no other, a watch that beats true for all time and never stops. One other winning definition was, a friend is one who comes in when the whole world is running out. What is a friend? We can see in the Bible some friends. We saw Moses and Jethro. We see David and Jonathan. We see Elijah and Elisha. Paul and Timothy. Paul and the church of Ephesus. We can go through and we can look at what they were all about. But the question is this: would they die for you? Not would you die for them. Would they die for you? Think long and hard. I think of a couple of friends that I'm friends with that might, that could. But would they? There's a story told about a family that was traveling up in northern Canada. And the father and his wife and 2 kids went, and they took his best friend along. And they were riding in the wilderness when their car suddenly quit. They sat out in the wilderness for quite some time, and as they sat there and it got cold, they were trying to figure out what do we do and where do we go. Finally, the father said, well, let's get out and let's walk towards that last gas station we saw and see if we can get some help. They got out of the car and started walking, and a pack of wolves came out of the woods. And the family all of them ran back to the car and got in, and there they sat. And wondered, what should we do? What should we do? As the wolves circled the car and did things. And finally the friend said to the family, well, you know what? I have no one. I have you guys as my friends, but I really have no one. My parents have long died. I'm not married. I don't have kids. And here, you guys have all this. He said, so it's only fitting that I'll do this. And then with those words, he jumped out of the car and ran down the road, and the wolves followed. so that the family could get out of the car and run the opposite direction and get to the gas station. Just as they arrived at the gas station and got inside, the wolves showed up outside. But there they were, safe and secure inside. And the man said to the family, "Look it, we're alive because he was willing to die." How many of us jump out of the car when the wolves are circling? How many of us are like the firefighters that run into a building when everyone else is running out? How many of us lay our lives on the line so that somebody can know Jesus? There's a book out called Fox's Book of Martyrs, and you could read through that, Fox's Book of Martyrs. You could read through the DC Talks book, title escapes me, Jesus Freak, and all the different stories there of people who ran in when everyone else was running out, who stood tall when standing tall would cost them their lives. And the question is, would you end up in that book? See, the friend I want to talk to you about today isn't the one sitting next to you. It's not that friend in your husband or wife or that friend that brought you to church. It's not that friend. I've learned in this life that a lot of times even friends will let you down. But there is a friend that is above all friends. His name is Jesus. We read about him there in the book of John, and Jesus loved you enough that he what? He died for you. Even though he was sinless, he gave his life for your sin. That's a friend. That's a friend who loved you enough that he was willing to go through everything he went through so that you might have the chance, the opportunity, the choice of heaven. What do you do with that chance? You know, as I read this and see what Jesus went through, as I look at his life, and as I look at how he shared with his disciples, stuff like that, you know, he just poured himself out, and I have to wonder, what do I do with that? You see, because no matter what I do, Jesus is going to be a friend to me. I may not be a friend to him. I may not always do what he wants me to do, but he is still going to be there as a friend. When I suddenly come to my senses, turn around and say, "Hey, Jesus," he's going to say, "What?" He's going to be there. Now, I don't know that that's always true. I know a couple times in my life, and I worked hard this week trying to figure out which stories I could share with you and not share with you about some of my friends. And I know a couple of instances where my friends threw me under the bus. When it came down to it, they could tell the truth and take the consequences, or they could pass it off. And I remember several times in my life where friends passed it off. Who took the spanking or the grounding or this one? I did. I don't have to say, but I didn't do it. No, they all said you did it. And as I sat in my room, grounded, they don't ground today like they grounded back then. You know, back then when I sat in my room grounded, in my room there was a bed, a little nightstand dresser thing, and my brother's bed, and clothes in the closet. There was no radio, there was no TV, there was no video games, there was no computer, there was no... When we were grounded, we were grounded. When my dad said you're grounded, sit on your bed, there you sat. Kind of like Marshall's communion method. There I sat, and the only thing there with me was God. Sorry, but when he grounded me like this, I wasn't thinking God. And there I sat, and all I could do was think. And I remember thinking, you know, Gene Matson and Gary Hayes, you losers. I mean, you went and did something And then I joined up with you after the fact, and I'm the one getting punished, and you guys are out playing ball. I thought, that's really not fair. And I sat there on my bed. I remember dinner time coming, and my dad says, you got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You sit down and gobble it up, because I got 5 minutes, and I had to be back on my bed. I was grounded to my bed for 4 days. You know what kind of thinking you do in 4 days? I mean, I ran through the scenario of Gary and Jean 100 times. 100 times it came out different. You losers. I remember sitting on my bed grounded, and the knock came at the door, and we are in the basement, and I could look up. There they are. Hey, can Tracy come out and play? No. He's grounded. Because of you guys. And they would come to my window and try to talk to me. And I kept saying, go away. Go away. Because I know my dad. What? If you're up my window talking to me, I'm in trouble. Go away. Go away. When can you come out? I don't know. You know? One time in my life, my dad said this, you're grounded for life. Thank goodness he got tired of me sitting on my bed. But I mean, that's when the punishments were punishments, when things were done. And those were friends. Those were what I thought were friends. I haven't seen Gary since 7th grade. I haven't seen Jean since 10th grade. We grew beyond that friendship. And sometimes in life you think you have a friend that when you find out it's really not a friend. Jesus is a friend that will never leave you. Jesus is a friend that will never throw you under the bus. Jesus is a friend that will always be there to love you and hold you and do the right things for you. Some of you have friends that aren't friends. Some of you have friends that take you in the wrong direction rather than the right. Some of you stand at a crossroad every day and you try to figure out, what do I do? Do I do right what God wants me to do, or do I go with my friend? And even though you tell the friend, and the friend knows you're a Christian, and the friend knows what you're about, they still ask you to come over here into this part of the world. Okay? The Bible says you can't serve 2 masters. Love the one and hate the other, or hate the one and love the other. It's going to happen. We can stand in the middle of the road and try to do both. In the long run, we lose. In the long run, that friend ends up throwing you under the bus because of what they want. And we've got to look at our lives, we've got to examine ourselves, we've got to start taking it and looking and saying, okay, what is it that I want? Do I want this friend who died on the cross for me, even though he was sinless, to take on my sins, that I might one day be able to go to where he is and live in that place of glory that he describes for us in his word? Or do I want the joys and fun times of this life, try to hold on to God a little bit, but do these things when in the end we know we lose? When do we stop playing games with friends? When do we start choosing the friends that want the same things we want? That guide us to where God wants us to be? Those friends that help us enhance our lives and strengthen our lives, not tear our lives down. Those friends who pull us from under the bus, not throw us under the bus. When do we start choosing the right kind of people that our life gets better rather than worse? That we start making a difference to others because of it, not a difference instead of it. You see, in a true friendship, I think there's three qualities. Three things we do. In my friendship with Jesus, I give to Him mentally. What do I give to Him mentally? My thoughts, my mind, the things that I very think about. Mentally, the things that I take in, that I see and do. Mentally, I give myself to Jesus. How much? How much mentally do you give to Jesus? Scripture says He wants 100%, all. But I give Him what? I want you to look in the mirror. When I ask these questions, I want you to be looking in the mirror. I want you to see yourself and answer the question. I give Jesus mentally what? Physically. Physically, with my physical being, with the strength and abilities He's given me, I give Jesus what? When it comes down to your life, you're looking in that mirror, you see yourself, what do you tell yourself you give Jesus? Physically. He wants 100%. He wants us to work for Him, but honest engine, right in front of the mirror, you and Him, what do you give Him? Spiritually. Spiritually, what do you give? When it comes down to it, how much do you give Jesus spiritually? Do you have a daily prayer time? Do you have a daily study time? When the opportunity to be in His Word is there, you go. How much do you give Jesus spiritually? Now, what if His friendship with us was based on what we gave Him? What I give Him is only what He can give me in return. What do I give from Jesus? I praise God. I thank Him every day that His friendship is far beyond mine. I pray every day that I'm able to be a better friend to Him than I was yesterday. That I can friend Him in a way that He friends me back. Okay, I stand before you, I tell you, I have a long ways to go in my relationship with Jesus. And I'll guarantee you this, if I have a long ways to go in my relationship with Jesus, I'll bet you do too. See, when I put sermons together like this, I stand in front of that mirror. I look at that mirror and I say, I'm going to ask them this question. How would I answer it? You know how I'd answer those three questions? Pretty poorly. Have I given 100% of myself mentally to Jesus? No. Have I given 100% of myself physically to Jesus? No. Have I given 100% of myself spiritually to Jesus? No. And so in doing this, I look at it, and I look at Him, and He gave more than 100%. He gave His all. He gave it to the nth degree that He died for me on the cross. And how do I repay that? I'll be there when I have time. Jesus, you need to stay home. You don't want to go do this. Sometimes we have that attitude, don't we? And yet He wants our all. The question is this. In your relationship with Jesus, is He better off with you or without you? Is He better off with you or without you? Are you going to pull Him from under the bus, or are you going to throw Him under? And then you look, what did Jesus give me mentally? Everything. Physically. Everything. Spiritually. Everything. Is my life better off because I'm a friend with Him? Absolutely. So what kind of friend am I? What kind of friend are you to Jesus? I mean, I know Jesus. I know He is like that father standing on the road, waiting for his son or daughter to return. I know that when I turn to Him and run, He is standing with His arms open wide, ready to receive me. I have no doubts in that. I know how He is. The question today is, how are you? If Jesus were to turn and run to you, A, would He find you? B, would you be waiting on Him? C, would your arms be open wide to receive Him? You got to answer that. You got to know where you stand with Him. Jesus is a friend like no other friend you've ever had. Like no other friend you've ever perceived or seen. Jesus is 100%, absolutely, totally there for you. And in that relationship, all He asks is that you are 100%, absolutely, totally there for Him. See, I've had a lot of friends in my life. A lot of people that I thought were, a couple of them that I thought were my best friend. That would be there through thick and thin, and through the years, that has been so. Friends have come into my life, and friends have left my life. They're still there. If I contact them today, yeah, we'll talk and we share. And will they lay down their lives for me? I don't know. But I know this, and I have proof of it. There is one friend who already has. Who would do it again tomorrow if that's what it took. Who stands there waiting for me to reciprocate with that friendship. And He just wonders this. When are you coming home? When are you going to be His friend the way He friends you? When does He get a return the same that He's given you? What will it take for you to be that kind of friend to Jesus? One who loves you and who just commands you. This command I give you, that you love one another. What does that mean? He just told you that He loves you enough that He calls you friend. You're no longer a slave, but He calls you friend, that you're His, and that He died for that friendship. And then He closes out and says, a new command I give you, love one another. What is He saying? It's real simple if you pull it apart. I have to be a friend to you the same way Jesus is a friend to me. He showed us how to love. That love was willing to die for that friend. Am I willing to die for you? Are you in return willing to die for me? But the ultimate question is this: are you willing to die for Jesus, for His cause? If He sends you, will you go? See, my friends that I have a certain amount of trust in. And when they say, hey, I need you to go do this, a lot of times I don't even question it. All right. And I go do it for them. Jesus is a friend who says, hey, I need you to do this. I need you to seek and save the lost. Can you help me? I need you to tell your neighbor about me. Can you help me? I need you to show your family my love. Can you help me? I need you to lay down your life so people can see the truth. Will you help me? And that laying down of life isn't like Him. Jesus doesn't say, come and die on a cross with me. What does He say when He asks for your life? Come and live for me. He's not asking the ultimate sacrifice. He's asking that you change your ways to be His ways. To change your ways that you're more like Him. You know, as good friends are, we tend to take on each other's traits, don't we? We start having the same likes and dislikes and doing the same. And He's saying, nope, He's not going to become like us, but I want you to become like me in your traits, in your actions, in your speech, in your thoughts, in your every being, that people can see me through you. Paul's words, I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. That's what Jesus wants. He wants to be that good a friend with Him that He can live in you and people can see that friendship. Do people see that in you? You're still standing in front of the mirror. You're still looking in that mirror. You're still studying yourself. You're looking at all the imperfections you think you have. And Jesus thinks you're perfect. You're in that mirror and you're looking. And if you look deep enough, do you see Jesus? Are you starting to see His characteristics come about in you? Are you a good enough friend with Him that you're turning into and His traits are becoming your traits? That sooner or later people are going to start seeing Him in you and not just you. That He becomes so much of a good friend with you that people start saying, what is it about you that's different? What is it about you that I can't help it? I want to see what it's about. I want that. That's when we know we're being a true friend of Jesus. When people look at us and no longer see us, but they see Him. In our speech, in our actions, in our thoughts, and everywhere. Mentally, physically, spiritually, they see Jesus here. Don't you think that's kind of the way that they looked at Paul? You think that's kind of the way they looked at Peter and some of these others in the Bible when they started seeing them as they were doing His work and started doing His thing? I mean, obviously God saw it in Enoch when he came down to heaven, or Elijah when he rode him in a chariot to heaven. I mean, they saw it. It's possible it can happen. Do you want it? Do you want to be a friend of Jesus like that? This morning we're going to give him an invitation. We're going to give you an opportunity to accept Jesus as that kind of friend. That kind of person that you can pour yourself into and be a part of. An invitation where, do you want to be a friend of Jesus? Will you accept Him and His ways? Will you be willing to change to be like Him because He's such a great friend? Maybe you're sitting here today and you've already given your life to Christ and you have that friendship. Maybe today you talk to Him and say, you know what? Help me to build it. Help me to make it stronger that people see you in me. Or maybe you're sitting here today and you've never given your life to Christ. You've never accepted Him as that kind of friend. Maybe today you need that kind of friend. You need to make a decision to follow Him and be like Him. Because all the other type of ways you've been doing, all the other friends you've had, have left you over here. Whatever your decision is, we stand and sing. If you have a decision for Christ today, make that decision. Father, our prayer is that we can be a friend to your Son. That we'll be such good friends that we'll emulate what he is. Father, help us to be like you. Help us to be your people, doing your will and your way, Father, that people see you and him in us. Father, we thank you for the day. Pray that you'll give us strength and guidance as we go. Help us to do those things you put before us this week. And if it be your will, bring us back again next week. Pray this in your Son's name.